how do you think AI is affecting the way people communicate?
So then you can see why the money in corporate is so big, but you just have to, there has to be a super solid business case.
Is that just this scalable model? Because some people may say, some people may want to be a speaker as their career, right? Mm-hmm. Would you say that's sustainable to just speak at events?
AI is an evolution from social media. And what happened is there's social media, there was the pandemic, and then now there's AI.
Welcome to the Mind Your Business podcast. My name's Jav.
Michael.
And today, guys, we got a very, very, very special guest. Someone that was on The Apprentice, someone that runs a six-figure public speaking business, a former athlete, someone with a very unique backstory, which we're going to get into. We're very excited to have him down here, Frederick Afrifa.
Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming. Exactly. Thank you for coming. Yeah, man. Today there's a lot that we really want to get into. Obviously, I've been following you on socials for a minute now. So once we kind of opened this studio, you was one of the first people on my mind to try and get down. So I appreciate you coming down, man. This is a new podcast in terms of we've kind of rebranded the previous podcast. So we do have some segments. Oh, nice. Michael's kind of the one that comes up with the segment. So you got an initial question, always.
Yeah, so what's on your mind, man? What's been on your mind recently? It ain't got to be anything specific.
Yeah. On my mind recently is business, man. Business. I feel like we're going through an exciting growth in the business. And as you guys all know, you have a lot of experiments. But when we're getting to a stage where something is working, so it's really exciting. So we're just stripping things down and we're just doubling down on what's working. So that's been primarily on my mind.
Nice, man.
Okay.
What about you, Joe?
I said business last week, so I don't want to say the same thing twice, bro. But I would say now it's business, man. It's business, but I think specifically networking. I think one thing I've personally never really been too good at is networking, man. I'm quite closed off. So I think this year I really want to try and network more in person. Yeah, man. So that's kind of something for me. How about yourself, bro?
Me, it's been traveling, man. I've got a couple trips booked the latter end of May. So I'm just trying to get my head around. You don't want to be too last minute, but you don't also want to be like planning for long periods of time. So I'm just getting the balance of that right. I'm going Houston and Nigeria. So
nice.
Yeah,
man. I've got to sort that out, man.
That makes sense.
Let's get into it.
Cool, man. Well, I got a ton of questions for you. I'm sure Michael's got a ton of questions as well, man. But as I was doing my research for this, I found out you was born in Italy, Milan to be precise.
Was it Ghana? Italy? I thought it was okay.
So
Italy.
What I want to know is like, okay, but you're Ghanaian, right?
Yes.
So just tell me, paint the picture, like born in Italy, how did this all come about? Like give us a little bit from your backstory.
Yeah, so this is credit to my father, really. He grew up in a village in Ghana.
Okay.
Ashanti region. What we would call like extreme poverty, really.
Okay.
So his thing is he didn't want to start a family in the same circumstances he grew up. So from when he turned 16, he was just trying to get out. Loads of failed attempts. So he went to Nigeria when that economy was booming. Then obviously the Ghana must go thing. So he went back. Then he tried to
Did you know about that?
I heard about it literally a week ago.
Oh, really?
Literally a week ago, I listened to someone talking about it.
Yeah. It's a real thing. So then he tried to get into Spain, and it's a whole long story. It didn't really work. Went to Germany, got deported, and eventually landed in Italy in like the mid-90s. And then met my mum back in Ghana, took her over to Italy, and then I was born in the mid-90s in Italy. And it was crazy. I was the only black kid in my school, only black family in the area. Even on the high street in the supermarket, everyone would stare at us. It was peak. My mum said once when they first got there, they were standing at the bus stop and the car slowed down. They're just looking at them like, wow. But it's crazy because as a kid though, that's all I knew. So I didn't even know racism was a thing. I just thought this is just the way it runs until I moved to London. I was 11, 12 years old. And then I realized, wow, all of those experiences weren't actually normal experiences.
Where in Italy was he?
Milan.
Milan. Okay. So did that transpire into actual racism, or was it just like people just didn't know who you were?
No, full on racism, 100% full on racism. So I could go to the park and kids would be like, "No, we don't play football with black kids." Or people telling my dad to go back to his country. And unlike like British people, Italians are very overt with it. So they'll just, and it's funny. Italians are generally very nice people. But they're also very ignorant, I would say. So sometimes there's a blurred line between racism and ignorance, right? Like for example, in Italy, you recently had a reporter a sports reporter say something racist on live television. He had no idea he was being racist. But he was being racist.
Was that around Vinicius or was something different?
It was around football. I think it was a certain football. I think it was Moise Kean.
Okay.
Yeah, Moise Kean. Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup.
Right.
There was a lot of backlash.
Okay, yes.
So he said something where he's now lost his job, right? He wouldn't, and I believe he wouldn't intentionally, even if he thought that, he wouldn't intentionally say it live on TV. Yep. And it shows that he thought he was doing something innocent, but he wasn't. That's one of the biggest challenges in Italy, that there isn't much education around it. You know what I'm saying? And unlike the UK where black people came after the war, my family, my parents' generation in the 90s were like kind of the first influx.
Okay.
So yeah, they're behind.
Interesting, man.
Okay, because they're not used to black people being around.
Did you, just a quick last one on Italy, did you go to other places in Italy whilst you was there? Because I just came back from Italy, and before I went, my barber warned me. He's like, yeah, you sure about it? We said, you experience it for yourself.
Yes.
And when I was there, like you said, they was very nice,
Yeah.
like very nice people. So did you go to other parts of Italy or was it mainly Milan?
Not at the time. At the time, it was just Milan. I only got to explore Italy after, when I was an athlete, and I was
Okay.
representing the country, and I went around. And then I've recently been to the south. I got married in the south of Italy.
nice,
So
okay, wow.
I love Italy. I go on holiday regularly. I wouldn't live there,
Okay, yeah.
but yeah, at the time it was just Milan.
Fair enough.
Okay, so you moved to London when you was 12, yeah?
Yes.
Where in London did you move to?
Brixton.
Brixton. Okay. So
What do they call it? From the thing to the fire.
You know when the pendulum just swings to the other
so what was
side.
that like, bro? Like,
So it was crazy. I remember just thinking there were so many black people. Right? And Brixton made me believe that there were more black people than white people in the UK. It wasn't until one of my teachers once did a survey and explained 3%, and I thought they were lying. I was 100% sure. I was like, how? Because in school, on my street, on the bus, there's more black people.
Yeah.
And then they explained that now everyone's concentrated in London. Yeah, Brixton was tough, man, but it was such a, what do they call it? It was such a, it builds your character building experience, because for the most part, Milan was very safe. I'd go to the park by myself, 8 years old, it was calm. And I'm not streetwise. So the first couple of weeks, I remember I was walking down Angel Town.
Is that where you went? That's what I was literally going to ask.
Yeah, I was in Tulse Hill.
You was in Tulsa?
No, I was in Tulse Hill.
Cool.
Yeah. But I was in Angel Town. My school was in Tulse Hill, but some of my friends lived in Brixton. So looking at Angel Town I was on my phone, just like scrolling on, and I wouldn't do that now, for example.
Yeah.
Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, have it in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? So, look, long story short, someone approached me and took my phone.
yeah.
This is like 2 weeks into being in London.
Oh, well, you just got there?
Just got here.
Welcome to Brixton.
Just got there. And I remember going home saying to my mum, I want to go back to Milan.
Yeah, of
that
course.
scarred me. I was proper scared. But then I learned from that. I'm like, okay, right, I should keep my phone in my pocket or just be more wary of my surroundings.
Yes.
And then you make other mistakes and stuff like that. So that's what it was. You go to school, I didn't speak any English.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you're in high school and then people aren't using dictionary words.
So you got the slang. And
You understand? So I remember, again, my first week of school, someone called me a neek. And I didn't know what that was. So I'm in the dictionary. Yeah. And she was laughing. She was like, see, this is what you're doing. You're a neek. Like, you're looking for the word neek in the dictionary. So it was just an adaptation of, but I was a quick learner. So within a few months, I asked my mum recently, I said, how long did it take me for me to fully get to grips with English? Because to me, it was all blurry.
Right.
She said in a few months. In a few months, and now I don't sound like I ever.
I mean, considering that you have a public speaking business and English isn't your first language,
That's cool.
You speak better than people that are born and raised there.
It's facts.
So you mentioned about being an athlete.
Yes.
So when you was doing athletics, you represented England or
Italy.
you represented Italy?
Yeah. So I started doing athletics when I was around 14, 15. And then when I was 17, I got my first international opportunity. And I could basically pick. At the time, I only had an Italian passport.
Right.
But I could have got a British passport. I was here long enough. But I decided to run for Italy simply because at the time, the rankings were more favourable.
Right.
Okay.
I was ranked second in Italy at the time. UK rankings, I was ranked 8th. So it was just a simple maths. Yeah. So, and then I ended up representing Italy, yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you though, in regards to how you feel about when someone asks you where you're from. Yeah, you're from Ghanaian parents. You was born in Italy, but you was raised here pretty much from a teenager. So if someone asks you where you're from, what do you say?
It's a brilliant question. Now I say I'm from Ghana.
Okay.
Now, and I say now because I went to Ghana in 2021, did this 30 December with the man them, and that was my first time going to Ghana as an adult by myself without parents. Me and the man them. That helped me reconnect with my roots. After that trip, so that's why I've now always have symbols to represent me. Like, I feel like I'm a Ghanaian man. I just happen to be born in Italy. Prior to that visit, it was a full-on identity crisis, 100%. Because I ran for Italy. And again, running for Italy, when you do incredibly well, they consider you Italian. When you don't run as well, they don't consider you Italian. Ghanaian roots. Spent most of my life in the UK now. So it was quite blurry. But now, to answer your question, I'd say I'm Ghanaian for sure.
Okay, that's interesting. So also, I want to get into the Apprentice stuff, but I still have one more question on the athletic stuff because, you know, I'm a former athlete myself.
Yes,
so you were running at a very high level. So what was the next step for you in terms of potentially trying to do the World Championships, Olympics? Was that on the horizon for you? And then take me through that journey.
Yeah, good question. So I did the European Championships for Italy and things were on an upward trajectory. In 2019, I won my first national title. So national champion in Italy. And then the Olympics were in 2020. So it was perfect.
I already know what's coming now.
You understand? So it was perfect. I'm climbing up the ranks. I'm national champ, Tokyo next year. And then COVID happened.
Right.
So that was okay because COVID was postponed the Olympics by a year. And I thought I'd just have an extra year to train. But I got COVID. And that was pretty much the end because I couldn't recover. I got COVID in February of 2020. And I was out for 6 months.
Wow.
Tried to get back into training September, October. And I just couldn't really do it. I kept trying to run. So I did race, but I was running very slow. Like slower than I'd run as a kid. It just didn't, my body just didn't recover. And I don't know what it was. It was COVID. I did get vaccinated. I don't know what it was, but my body was never the same. And then, I got dropped by my sponsor. My team in Italy dropped me as well. So I was kind of just hustling it, doing security, delivery. And then eventually, especially when the speaking stuff started growing, I just had a real honest conversation with myself. I remember my final race, it was in Italy. I got beat by this kid born in 2003.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, it was probably fine because he was, 18, 19. But just, that was the first time someone born in the mid-90s, someone born in 2003 has beat me in a race. Yeah. It was a 200-meter race where I came off the bend first and then I finished 7th out of 8. But then I remember that it was peak because all that week I had all jobs around the UK. So Monday I was in Brighton, Tuesday I was in Leicester. For speaking.
Okay.
So I was speaking. And then Friday I've flown to Italy and then Saturday I've raced. So naturally, that's when I realized I had to make a decision.
Yeah,
like, if the speaking is building, what am I going to put my effort into? And that was my last race.
Because I didn't realize that the speaking was happening as you was still racing. So if you was planning to compete in the Olympics and then you caught COVID and then you had to switch, like how quick did you make a decision to now say, all right, let's do the speaking thing? And where did that idea even get sewn in?
Very good question. So 2020 I got dropped and I started working as a delivery driver towards the end of 2020. This is like COVID, peak COVID.
Delivery, like what do you mean delivery?
Sainsbury's.
Okay.
Get in the van, give people
Food
their shopping.
I tried to do that job.
Yeah.
I didn't pass the driving thing for Tesco.
Tesco was the hardest one, bro.
I failed the driving thing because you had to reverse. I did like a reverse maneuver and I effed it up.
I had a funny story with that as well. I tried Asda, right?
Yeah.
But then something, this is calm, you're just driving. But they're like, your car ain't ready yet, so you're going to do packing. So they've got me inside packing the thing. I said, it's job. I said, it's impossible.
That's the worst job.
I left that day. I left early. I said, never.
That's the worst job. Yeah. So January 2021, I'm a delivery driver.
Right. Okay.
Because I had just been dropped by my sponsor and by my Italian team.
So straight away you just jumped. You said,
I had to work. I had to make some money. I had to make some money. So it was mainly that thing. Like, got to make some money somewhere.
Yeah.
So as I'm doing the deliveries, I'm not liking it. Right? I've been an athlete my whole life. And I've just got this weird thing with authority. I just don't like being told what to do.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can relate.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to hate it. And then one of the managers tells me that he had 2 degrees. So, okay. So I politely said to him, you seem a bit overqualified to be a delivery driver. And he told me he was mad anxious. He said every time he got to assessment centers interviews, because he can't speak to people, it messed up all of his opportunities. So he said, if you learn anything from me, don't let this kind of shyness and anxiety around speaking to people affect your potential. Because I would say I would pretty much the same. Growing up in Italy, like I wasn't a very confident kid, right? And you're never the popular kid. And then coming to Brixton, all of those challenges. So I started speaking just to get better at speaking. Do you understand? So that was So in 2021, March is when I started sending emails to schools saying, hey, I'd love to speak to your schools, to your students for free. I'll speak about resilience because I used to be an athlete. And in return, I just want an opportunity to speak.
Who sold that idea in your head? Because someone doesn't just decide and think, I need to speak, let me go message a school.
The crazy thing is, I think this is when the athletics plays a part, because as an athlete, the only way I got better at anything was to just do it a lot and get better reps in. So initially, because I have a slim frame, I wasn't very strong in the gym. I banged out gym and I was able to lift as heavy as the bigger sprinters. All I did was just hand cleans loads of times. My block starts weren't very good as a sprinter. I just did block starts loads for 6 months. Then I had one of the best starts. So in my head, I was like, the only way I can get better at speaking is through speaking. But that just came to mind because of my time as an athlete. And then I thought, where can I speak? And that's when I said, let me just reach out to schools.
You just literally come up with that idea.
But I've always been very creative and come up with, and it's helped now in business.
Yeah.
So I just had the idea of just emailing loads of schools, and a few of them got back to me. And then one of them said, because I offered to speak for free. And then one of them said they had a speaker budget. I said, what's the speaker budget? I said, yeah, we regularly bring in speakers and we pay them. You pay them? What's the budget? £100.
Yeah.
Bro, I was doing £9 an hour at Sainsbury's.
Yeah,
and the school's going to give me £100 to speak for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes?
1.5.
I mean, yeah.
That's it.
It's 15 minutes.
That's my life changed after that. So then this is happening in 2021 when I'm still chasing the athletics thing. Remember, the Olympics got postponed to 21, so I think I'm still going to do it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until 2022, that's when I had my final race. So that's where 2021, 2022 was when the speaking was growing and when the athletics was sliding.
Okay.
Yeah, just to kind of answer your question.
Okay, no, that makes perfect sense. So I believe the public speaking business, Believe in Greatness, that was in 2022 that you launched that, right, with your co-founder.
Yeah.
So what were the early days of that like, especially starting a new business? I know the hustle and grind that that is. So
100%. So the funniest thing is, in 2022, we were an athletics club. So following the same timeline, I was speaking in schools in 2022. I spoke at a private school in central London. They paid me £100. And then I went home and I did my research after, because it just looks bougie.
Okay.
Well, the tuition was like £10,000 a term per student. And I spoke to 100 students. So I was doing that maths in my head and I was like, nah, I should have charged way more than that.
Right, of course.
I want to go back, but I've already spoken to them. What else can I do? And like I told you, I'm quite creative. So I'm like, what else can I offer them? I don't know. Well, I used to run. So can I offer a running club? So I just asked the PE lead on LinkedIn, I came to your school, it was amazing. By the way, I have an athletics club. Would you guys be interested? He said, yes. I said, whoa, I don't even have one. Now I need to.
Now I got one.
Now I need to get things going. So I created a poster, I went there, and I tried to sell this athletics club. 5 parents said yes. It was going to be in Regent's Park. And the funny thing is, on the day they were supposed to start, I forgot. So I had phone calls from parents saying, yeah, we're at Regent's Park. Where are you? I was in Crystal Palace. I was like, oh my gosh. So then, anyways, what we ended up doing is starting Believe in Greatness Athletics Club. And what it was is an athletics club for kids. And my whole model with that is I would speak at the school. And then after the assembly, be like, who loves running? And all the kids love running. And then I say to the teachers, oh, I have a running club. Kids, you want a running club? Yay! And then the model was I would go into these schools. It was free for the school. And the parents would pay £50 per term to take their kids to the running club.
£50 per term?
Yeah.
How many sessions?
Once a week. And it's a 6-week term.
Okay, it's a bit cheap though, isn't it? No?
Very cheap. Very cheap. The beginning stages, isn't it? I know what they're doing.
fair.
And ultimately, yeah, the margins were awful because especially once I wasn't the one delivering it and I had to pay a coach.
Okay,
Right.
But the coaches cost more than what we were
What
bringing
he's
in.
bringing in.
Of course.
So the public speaking thing, how that happened was end of 2022, I wanted to network. I'm speaking in schools. I don't know any speakers. So I'm going to different networking events, like what Javen wants to do this year in person.
Mm-hmm.
One of the events was in Westminster, December 2022. It was about overcoming the fear of speaking. I was like, okay. I go to the event and there's this guy teaching us how we can overcome our fear of speaking. I didn't even know this was a thing. Had I known, I probably would have done the course rather than speaking bare schools. So afterwards, I go to him and I'm like, is this a thing? And he says, yeah, like every week we have working professionals that have really good jobs but hate speaking. And we coach them. And I was like, damn, I was very anxious. Now I speak in schools. I think I would love to do what you do. And you know, when you watch someone do something, you're like, I could do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is when it's God, luck, whatever you want to call it. 2 weeks later, that same guy calls me. So we exchanged details that day.
Yep.
2 weeks later, he calls me. And he says, are you the guy from my class a couple of weeks ago? Yes. I got a class in 3 hours. I just tested positive for COVID. I can't cancel.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to get cover. Can you just cover me? So I kind of remember the slides. I said, okay, send me the information. I was already in central London for physio. Bro, I did the class and I smashed it. And I remember that day, their model was they run 3 events and then you upsell a £500 course.
Right.
So he said, you're not going to get any sales, but it's fine. And I sold 2 courses at the end of it. And I remember my mind blew, like I couldn't sleep because I just generated £1,000
Right.
out of nothing in 1 hour
Yep.
teaching people how to speak. Remember, I'm speaking in schools for 100 quid and I kind of think I'm the man, right? Because I'm doing like quite a few schools, getting a little, I don't know, £4,000 a month. And I just generated £1,000. The commission wasn't very good, but in my head, I'm like, I created £1,000 out of nothing. So anyway, worked with that company for a few months. My vision was to help them scale rather than start my own. But I fell out with the founder. We didn't align on a few things and then eventually broke off. Because we already had the name Believe in Greatness,
From the Athletics Club.
we were like, and it was me and Gordon, it was the same people. We thought, why start a new name? Like, Believe in Greatness is such a generic name that we could just call it Believe in Greatness Public Speaking. And then that's how the public speaking started.
Okay, that makes sense now. Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay, to switch speeds then, because obviously majority of people will be aware of you from The Apprentice. I'd read that you applied twice.
Yes.
You got rejected the first time.
Yes.
So what was the difference between applying the first time and the second time?
That's a great question. That I knew everything.
Okay.
Because it's the same application process, it's the same interview process. So I knew, and they already knew me. So what happened the first time was that I got very close to getting on a show. I was a reserve.
Oh, okay.
So as you know from the shows,
Yeah.
so many people apply and then you
Yeah.
whittle it. If you are a reserve, you have to go through all the processes as if you get on a show.
Okay.
Because basically if someone gets ill, if someone changed their mind, you're up.
Okay.
So I still have to buy all my suits, take all the pictures as if I'm going to get on a show.
You get paid for that?
No.
What?
And then on the day of filming, they told me you're not going.
They didn't give you the money back. Bruh.
So it was crazy because I knew it was a reserve, but in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, hope something's going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course. You can stay positive.
And then for me, that was such a low point because I felt like, yo, you almost made it to the Olympics. You almost made it onto The Apprentice. Like, you're just the nearly guy. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I hear it.
Yeah, it was
Them-
deep,
them
man.
thoughts there, yeah, I get it. I hear it
Bro,
still.
I was upset, man. But then something in me was like, but imagine if you apply again and then you make it. That will make your story even better. At the time, I'm doing quite a lot of speaking, right? And my whole talk's about resilience.
Yep.
That's like my life. So I was like, imagine if I apply again next year and I get on. Like, that's crazy. That'll make the story even better. So I just kind of locked in for a year. Business grew, naturally. And then I applied again the year after. And then it felt like a fast track. Though it wasn't, I started to go through all the process. They kind of knew me and then boom, boom, boom. And I made it.
Okay. And what what was the experience like, just overall, man? Obviously, Apprentice is a big show in the UK. A lot of people do watch it. So what was the overall experience like?
There's the experience doing it and the experience watching it are very different. doing it was fun and difficult. Like, it was fun because it's a crazy thing, but it's also mad challenging because what you don't realize is that one episode is recorded over a few days. Each day we're filming 12 to 15 hours. We get 10 minutes of phone calls a week.
What?
Yeah.
Do you get it?
So you don't have your phone on.
You don't have your phone. You don't have anything. You don't know the time.
Yeah.
You don't know the time, bro.
You don't have anything.
That's quite interesting.
I know what you're
You know what it's like, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, you was on Love Is Blind, which you can see the layout of it. But with Apprentice, I've only watched it a few times.
Yeah.
It looks like you're in the real world.
Yeah,
like
that's what.
you're
That's,
at home,
you're
you're in
right.
a house.
You're right.
So I wouldn't
I
have
know what you
thought
mean.
that.
I
Do you
know
get what I
what you
mean?
You're in a bubble. So in that house, yeah, there's no clocks. You don't.
Wow.
And we're in that house
clocks.
not very much because we just sleep there, right? So typically they'll wake us up at 4 a.m. We're out the house by 5 and then we get back at like 8.
Military.
Yeah. And then it was great. We used to look at the sun and try and guess what time it was. Yeah.
So you see the challenges though,
Yes.
where you gotta like do a business, you
Yes.
gotta make something. Is that real? Is that
question.
because obviously I know production.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can
Production.
fabricate certain things. So
It's real, but it's also not free.
right.
For example, if you have to sell a plant, say you have to create and sell an artificial plant. In your head, you're like, okay, I think I'm gonna do like a rose. You can't do a rose.
Okay.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that today.
You can only do or
Right.
You don't see that behind the screen.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So when you end up doing like a book-shaped flower, yeah, people be like, why did he go for that? I couldn't do anything else.
right,
And then you have to pick the colors, right? Okay, I want it to be green. Oh, you can't do green. You can only do I'm like, okay, let's do it yellow. Other teams picked yellow. You can't do the same as the other team. So now what color's gonna do? Purple or brown? So now I've got a purple book-looking flower, and I have to pitch it to investors.
But it's kind of backwards though, no?
So the whole premise of the show, for anyone that's ever gonna go in it, is this: whoever messes up least does well.
right,
It's difficult to do well. Some people do well, and you have to be either lucky or incredibly talented to do that.
right.
It's just about not messing up well. And their whole thing is, how do you adjust to crazy circumstances?
Right,
You know
okay.
what I'm saying? So something that will typically take the normal person 2 months to do, you have 3 hours to do. And then you have other people that are going to be arguing with you, trying to get screen time. Good luck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the show, bro.
So Alan Sugar fired you before you even got to be in the bottom 3, right?
Yes.
So, and I was reading a lot of the fans didn't really like that.
Yes.
So, what? Why? How did that happen?
That's a great question. That's the first time it's ever happened in Apprentice history, bro.
Yeah.
Because the format is I was lost as project manager, you bring 2 people back. There's the politically correct answer, and then there's the real answer. I'll give you the real answer. I think there was someone they wanted to go.
Right.
Sugar asked me who you bringing back. That person wasn't in my bottom 2. So what happened then, which it didn't show on TV, is that all the judges started randomly talking about him and all the reasons why he should go. And then Sugar asked me again, who you bringing back? And I said the same 2 I said before. And Sugar was like, Frederick, you're fired. And then he gets fired as well afterwards. There's a double firing.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Do you have an inkling of why they wanted that guy to go so much?
yeah, he pissed off production.
Okay.
End of the day, it's a machine, innit? It's a machine. But so some people were saying to me, "Oh, you should have just brought him back because clearly it looked like they wanted to bring him back." But I'm happy I didn't because I just wanted to stick to my guns. I don't think that guy had any part to play in the failure of the task. He just pissed off production. Do you know what I'm saying? So even for the viewer, it would have looked crazy on TV if I would have brought someone back that didn't do anything wrong. Right? So yeah, I believe
stood on morals
that's
and-
the real answer.
Okay.
Right? I think that's what
But you was true to yourself though.
Cheat himself. And but the way things plan out, that episode I got fired, I did a presentation which was really good and went viral. Lord Sugar posted about it on Twitter, on Instagram. He said we can see why Frederick's a speaker, right? And we got so many corporate leads from that presentation.
Wow.
Week after, they had to pitch hot sauce. And because I got fired episode 7, people's memory was, oh, he's a sick presenter. And my job is to help people present. So it kind of was just perfect. Whereas you just never know. If I stayed longer, I could have made a fool out of myself. They could have, even if you do a good presentation, TV can make it look like it wasn't very good. You know what I mean? So for me, there was silver lining. Though I felt like I could have gone further in the show. Episode 7, solid.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So to quickly wrap up the Apprentice stuff, because I want to talk about your business. Yeah. I was listening to something and you said that going on the Apprentice kind of made you realize you are who you think you are. So what did you mean by that when you said that?
That's a really good point. Because the stuff I teach people is just the stuff that works for me. And I teach people how to articulate themselves at their best under pressure. That's like my thing. There will never be more pressure than 7 million people watching. Every presentation I'm doing, there's 8 cameras. That's pressure. And I was still able to smash it. And I just did the things that I teach. So that's why leaving the show, I was like, yeah, it gave me more certainty that this is the path that I should go down. And I am the proof of concept. Mm-hmm. That's what I meant by that.
Let's talk about the business, man, and specifically some things around communication, because I did a challenge in February.
I saw, actually.
I did one video every day, and every time I said the word like, I had to do 5 burpees, right? So obviously a big part of our speech, especially those of us that come from inner city London, we use a lot of filler words. Obviously we might use slang sometimes. What are the most common issues or common mistakes people make with speech that you see, especially the people that you coach and help and mentor?
Yeah, there are a few. The number one thing that happens, especially under pressure, is that people speak too fast. They're either speaking too fast or they're thinking too fast. And when you overthink under pressure, your mind goes blank. So some people are not conscious about their habits. Some people look away, some people say some people fiddle with their tie. But whatever you're doing in that moment, you're getting yourself into an overthinking state, which is where your mind goes blank. Our brains, under pressure, will always try to process things really quickly, which is what I often say. You have to basically set a speed limit of how fast you're going to speak and think when you're in high pressure situations. And if you typically, with friends or family, speak at 60 miles an hour, under pressure, do 45. Like, always speak a little bit slower than you would otherwise. If you're in front of a crowd, if you're in front of stakeholders, if you're at a job interview, because that will allow your thoughts and your voice to match.
That's interesting. Yeah. So to continue with that, now we're in an age of AI, and I believe you got a keynote speech where you talk about the digital age, communicating in the digital age. So how do you think AI is affecting the way people communicate?
AI is an evolution from social media. And what happened is there's social media, there was the pandemic, and then now there's AI. Because of these 3 things, people aren't communicating as much in person. When you think about when we were children, most of the communication would be done in person. You're seeing your friends at the park, else you're not really chatting to your friends. You're having more conversations at the dinner table with your family. So because of all of this, people are speaking less. And naturally, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I feel like AI is depleting people's ability to speak and communicate, which is good for us, right? Which is why I think we're pretty much AI proof, because the more people struggle, the more they will need our service. Yeah. But that's what I'm seeing, is that even at a senior level, people are struggling to articulate themselves in person. They're good at written communication. Now, written communication is mostly done through AI anyway. But that's the biggest thing that I see. But also, at the same time, it's now your biggest career advantage. And even Forbes did an article on this in December. They said, the thing right now that can't be automated is your ability to speak, communicate. Yeah. So it's one of your biggest career assets. And ultimately, organizations are cutting all the time, cutting costs. The people that will be cut first are the people that aren't visible in the workplace. It's funny because Emma Greedy is getting cancelled right now for saying you need to be more visible in the workplace. But it's factual. Right. It's factual.
Why is she getting cancelled?
Because people are saying, because she's saying you need to try and, if you want to progress in your career, you need to try and be in the office more.
Okay.
And people are like,
the remote kind of vibe.
The remote people are like, no. Yeah. But she's saying to get more opportunities, you need to be visible, which I think is facts. You can't fight facts.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway. So, yeah, I think that's, with the AI revolution, people are shying away from speaking. So we're finding the people we're training that learn how to speak, they're getting the promotions, they're getting the opportunities.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So with that then, obviously you're speaking at multiple different levels. You talk to kids in schools, but also you talk to corporate. would you say, what's the biggest differences between the struggles that the people in the corporate world are facing in terms of communication and even just school kids?
Interestingly, it's the same.
Right.
And I often say that no one has a fear of speaking, but people have a fear of judgment. And the fear of public perception is stopping you from doing the public speaking. Because if I put you in front of your family, your children, your partner, your parents, you should be able to articulate all the ideas that you want to speak about. In front of senior stakeholders, strangers, investors, all of a sudden you can't speak. Same is true for kids. When you put them around their friendship group, their family, they can't articulate themselves. In front of other kids that might laugh at them, they struggle to do that. Interestingly, a lot of the corporate people that are trained, the root cause is, I read a book in English and everyone laughed, and since then I've hated speaking. So often it's the same things.
And sticking with corporate then, I listen to a lot of people who talk about, specifically with black people, code switching. Do you think code switching is a good thing, a bad thing?
That's a good question.
What are your views on that?
I think it's grey. Like, it's not necessarily good or bad.
Right, okay.
And the reason I say that is because I believe you can only be the best version of yourself when you are being yourself. Mm-hmm. However, there isn't just one version of yourself. So the same way I speak to my mum and the aunties isn't the same way I'm speaking to you guys. Right? It's still me.
Yeah.
I'm just adjusting to the environment that I'm in. So for the code switching thing, I think the way to do it correctly is not to totally change your persona, but it's to adjust to the corporate environment. Still be yourself, but just obviously don't crack the jokes that you'd crack when you're playing pro clubs with the man then. And adjust. So that's what I believe you should do.
Okay.
But in regards to the they said like the code switching, so let's talk on speaking.
Okay.
So Jav mentioned about people using slang. So what's your thoughts on that? If you're on the stage, do you code switch? Like, which version are you then? Is it the same thing, like who's in the room? Or what would you say?
Whenever you're communicating, the most important thing is your audience or the listener. Okay. Right? So even the way I speak to teenagers isn't the same way I speak in corporates. When I'm speaking to year 11, year 12, I will be a little bit more South London because I want them to see me as their big brother. When I'm speaking at NatWest Bank, I'm a little bit less South London. I speak like this, like I'm still me, but I won't use as many slang words.
As many or any? Let's get to,
I won't use many because I don't think I eradicate them. Right. So an example is, I might use the word meaty in an assembly for teenagers.
Yeah, so that's like high level slang.
I'm not going to use that at NatWest.
Okay. But you keep that South London-esque vibe.
Yeah, vibe.
No? Do you use that do you think to your advantage?
100%.
Okay.
100%. And the interesting thing is that for a long time, I've kind of tried to stay away from it. But the feedback I've gotten is that that's the reason they want me.
That's what
I'm telling you. That's the reason they want me. Yeah. Because I'm so not corporate, it blows their mind.
Yes. Contrast this. Yeah.
But that's what they love. That's what they love. So I think we should lean into it personally. And from my own personal experiences, being black, being from South London, having a beard, these things have not inhibited me in the corporate world. If anything, they've helped me stand out and be more memorable.
That's interesting.
That's been my personal experience.
Okay.
And I was going to just say that, so you've gone into speaking and like Jav mentioned, you do, speaking gigs. A lot of us want to speak. I want to speak more. Jav does. You've gone into speaking on stages, but also teaching speaking as well. Is that just, obviously you fell into it kind of when you went to that course, but is that just this scalable model? Because some people may say, some people may want to be a speaker as their career, right? Would you say that's sustainable to just speak at events? Would you get enough events to speak at, or do you have to have a model like the corporate? What's your take on that?
Brilliant question. I've done both. It's not sustainable to just speak. The reason is, even if you have your best month, at the start of the next month, your calendar's dry again. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas, every clever speaker, or all the top speakers, they have programs on the back end. That's the real money maker. Then speaking at a conference becomes a lead magnet. So example, I spoke at a conference, or it was a life science / pharmaceuticals conference a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Speaking at the conference, to me, that's the beginning of the work. What I'm doing is I'm showcasing myself and my service. And on the back of that, I'm still having conversations with pharmaceutical organizations that need this training. I think that's the best model. To have a service that you can deliver in a corporate environment and use your presentations as an opportunity to market yourself.
Okay. I'll ask one more on this one, though.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have aspirations of selling programs to corporate.
Cool.
Yeah, because it sounds like this big thing, money maker, right? Sounds amazing. What's your approach to creating a program for corporate? Because I think a lot of, and I've worked on stuff like this before, a lot of overthinking can take place.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm going to this enterprise level company, I need to have these type of presentations or this, that. What's been your experience? Because obviously there's going to have to be maybe some balance of, it does have to look professional, right? But then where's the balance?
The most important thing for a corporate is you need to help them make or save money.
ROI.
Everything else doesn't really matter. In December, NatWest is one of our main clients. We got a lot of work from them. In December, did one of the NatWest gigs. And after that, we got very honest feedback that the slides are terrible. Wow. Yeah, they were like, bro, said, you guys are amazing, but the presentation's awful. If someone else was delivering that presentation, we wouldn't be happy with it. But you guys are amazing. And I say this to tell you that in hindsight, they didn't look professional at all. Like, they were bright blue. It was just terrible.
Professionalism. Okay.
Since then, we've changed it. But the reason they didn't really care is because of the value that we added to the organization. That is the most important thing. Corporates need to see your service as an investment in a business problem. So it could be churn. Maybe their staff turnover is too high. You calculate how much it typically costs to replace someone. You times that by 50, and you just tell them, if there's 50 people, da, 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 da. And because of corporates, the money's so big because the ROI is so big. Like, if it costs 20,000 to replace someone, and you help 10 people not leave the company,
you sold them
200,000, bro.
Saved, yeah.
So they will, if you help them see that, they will give you 20,000 without even thinking. And that's small numbers we're talking about. So then you can see why the money in corporate is so big, but you just there has to be a super solid business case. All they care about is, how is this going to help us save money, make money? And that's what's really helped us.
But let's say that you want to start a program tomorrow. You're gonna talk. You've got an opportunity to talk at an event.
Yep.
And you want to sell at the back end.
Yep.
What's your process in making sure that you're confident to go and sell that thing?
Cool. So you need to, number one, pick a business problem. So whether it's sales, whether it's staff turnover, whether it's transformation, whether it's marketing, just pick one business problem. Pick how you're going to solve it and try and link it to something that you've done before in life. So an example would be, if you were a fighter, MMA fighter, and as an MMA fighter, you had to learn a lot of different techniques. Right? So you had to absorb a lot of different information. Boom. Then you can start thinking about, okay, if you have client-facing bankers that speak to a wide range of individuals, they need to get good at absorbing different kind of information. I'm just riffing right now.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But you get it. So then you've applied what you've done in your life to something that a corporate banker would do, that a lawyer would do.
Yep.
And then you could just create frameworks. You're like, okay, so what helped me learn boxing and grappling? Well, I had to use 10% of this and da-da-da-da-da. So what's going to help them speak to Stacey and speak to Solomon? They need to do 10% of this, 10% of that. That's pretty much how I've done it.
Okay.
So I've just reverse engineered. How did I do that? How can someone else do this as well?
Makes sense.
And then you just have the business case. That's the most important part. So that's what I would do.
Okay, that makes sense. So you find a problem, relate it, tie it to something, so you've got that reason that you can, when you're talking to them, you can tie it to it, and then, okay, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
That's it.
Cool, man. Well, before we wrap this up, I've got two well, I've got a few rapid fire questions, and then
I'll be brief with
Michael has a little segment that he likes to do as we wrap these episodes up. So my first question, is if you could be trained or taught by any speaker in the world, who would it be?
I have to say Tony Robbins because he's a billionaire.
Got him right.
Yeah,
okay.
He's a billionaire, man.
Tony Robbins.
He's figured it out.
Why Tony Robbins?
Truth, because of his longevity
Okay.
and because of the billion.
Okay, cool. My next question. What do most people get wrong about confidence?
Most people think confidence is universal. So they say, I want to be a more confident person. But confidence is a lot more specific than people realize. Because I'm a confident speaker, but I'm not a confident swimmer. You could be a confident swimmer, doesn't make you a confident cook. Even within those skills, there are sub-skills. You could be confident driving on the motorway, but not in London. You could be confident cooking curry, but not pizza, whatever. So what people get wrong about confidence is that they're not specific enough about the thing they want to grow in confidence. Be specific. Once you find that thing, grow as much evidence as possible. The more evidence you have, the more confidence you have.
Cool. One more. Obviously, we're big readers. Me and Michael, we always share a lot of books. What's the best book you've ever read?
Jeez.
I know that's a big question, but...
Well, best two.
Yeah, go on. No, pick top three. I'll give you
three.
top three. Top three book recommendations from me.
So it depends on people, what stage people are at.
Okay. There's some nuance to this.
So there's nuance. I'd say what worked really well for me is $100 million offers.
Okay.
Okay.
$100 million offers.
Alex,
That helped me because it was at the start of my journey. Key person of influence.
Yeah.
That helped
Oh,
me
Dan
become
Priestley,
Dan
Dan
Priestley.
Priestley. Okay.
That helped me become a key person of influence in my industry. And then it's the Babylon book about finance.
Richest Man in Babylon.
Richest Man in Babylon. That helped me on my personal finance journey.
Okay. Nice.
That's my top three.
Yeah. I mean, I've got loads of questions I could ask, but I know we're short for time. But yeah, no, it's been good having you. You've been very informative.
Thank you.
I won't lie, we definitely, would love to have you on again.
100%.
We'll go even more in depth.
100%.
We do have a segment that we do, like Jav said. So yeah, as our tradition, could either be some music that you're into right now, or a book or something educational, podcast, whatever that you're consuming right now.
Cool. I'm watching a lot of Myron Golden right now.
You know about Myron?
Yeah. I'm watching a lot of Myron Golden right now. I love the way he explains and just articulates certain things, and that's my number one thing at the moment. Taking in some Myron Golden content.
That's interesting.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was kind of the opposite when I heard about my. You know what? I went through phases like.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
So maybe I'll
Same.
go back and because there was a time where when I first got into him, I was proper like, messing with it. Then I think I can consume things very fast.
I understand.
So when someone starts repeating, I've
heard this.
It's it's just in the top of my brain. But he is cold. I got a lot of respect for him. I think I've read one of his books as well.
He's cold.
So Myron Golden,
Yes.
like YouTube,
long form. YouTube's usually my platform.
Okay.
That's why I'm actually trying to put out more stuff on YouTube, and I rate the stuff you do on YouTube
I
because
appreciate it.
might as well produce in a platform where I consume the most, right? I'm
Yeah,
not really on TikTok.
for
much.
what you do,
For what
of
I do
course, as well.
Yeah, and YouTube's educational, so I think with what you do as well, it's probably the best place.
I think so.
It's the best place, hands down. For me, right now, I'm gonna have to do music, man, because educational right now is the same that I said last week. So I'm reading a book from Bell Hooks. It's about like black men and masculinity, so that's quite interesting. But music right now, I've been going back to some old school Jadakiss, So I've been listening to some Jadakiss, man. So that's been getting me through, man. Getting me through.
What is it, an album or just
Kiss of Death? So Kiss of Death, yeah. So one of his only good albums, because Jadakiss ain't really an album, man. But yeah, Kiss of Death.
Mixtapes. Yeah, for me, I've been on the audio books. The main one that I'm enjoying at the moment is it's called Extreme Ownership.
By Jocko Willink.
I believe, I don't even know.
He's in the military.
Navy SEAL, yeah. So
it's a good book.
Yeah, it's a good book. So yeah, that's what I've been listening to at the moment. Yeah.
I like that.
Cool.
I like that actually.
Cool. I got one more question. Sorry.
No, let's go.
Before we wrap up, so if someone's got a presentation tomorrow,
Ooh.
they've got to present in front of a school, they've got to present to their colleagues at work.
Cool.
What is the one piece of advice you'll give them before we wrap this up?
one piece of advice.
Yeah, what would be the best piece of advice you give them?
It would have to be slow down.
Okay.
That's the biggest. Slow down and or pause in between your points. That alone will make a huge difference. So don't rush your thinking, don't rush your speaking. And when you make a point, stop speaking and then continue.
Okay, wicked. I'll take that in.
Yes, sir.
Yes, man, that was a good point, man. So Frederick Afrifa from Brixton to BBC. Really appreciate you coming down, man. That was very, very insightful, very informative. And I think also that a lot of the listeners, a lot of the viewers can learn from that as well. You don't even have to be trying to be a public speaker. I think that there's still many lessons that we could take from this episode. So again, I appreciate you coming down.
Thank you, man.
Guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Every little helps. And also we will be linking Frederick's socials under this video as well. So don't hesitate to hit him up. If you are interested in potentially having him come down and speak, why not? His details will be there. So that's the Mind Your Business podcast. My name's Jav
Michael.
Frederick Afrifa. Peace.
Let's go.